Today we're replacing a bad LG washer drain pump. I've watched 20 different tutorials on the internet to save you time by showing you the fastest and easiest way to replace the drain pump. Most videos show a 30-something step process where you take off almost half of the panels, gaskets, seals, and other components. But in my video, we'll show you how to simply tilt your machine back and make the repair from below where there is a large access hole. No need to hire someone and pay them hundreds of dollars when you can fix it yourself for a tiny fraction of the cost. Okay, let's jump right in. First, you look up the model number of your LG washer. Ours was written on a sticker in the door panel. Search the internet with that number and the words drain pump motor until you find the corresponding part number. Take that part number and head over to Amazon for a much better price and delivery time. We paid $25 for a product with a high review score. You can buy it from LG, but it'll cost you a lot more and it'll take it a lot longer to arrive. With the part in hand, it is time to prep your area. We cleared the area of clothes and hampers. We retracted our wall-mounted clothes hangers, removed the dryer that was stacked on top of the washer. Now that the area is clear and the machine is ready to be worked on, we unplugged the power. Next, turned off the cold and hot water going to the machine. Our machine has mini hammer arresters that stick out the back. We had to remove them so we could lean the machine against the wall on its back. Lean it about 30 to 40 degrees so you have room to get under it and access a large opening that is under the LG washing machine. Get the balance just right so it doesn't tip further back or fall forward. Don't climb under the machine until you get the balance just right. With the dryer tilted back and stable, take the following items and place them around the floor. A flashlight, Phillips screwdriver, 10mm socket, 10mm open-ended wrench, some type of pliers or channel locks. If you have a permanent marker, string, and tape, those could be helpful, which will make sense further you get into the video. Next, remove the cover door on the drain at the bottom corner of the machine. Then, unscrew the coin trap and place it to the side. Next, remove the washer case by taking out the screws. Place it to the side. Next, under the machine in the general area will be a small opening exposing a screw. Remove it and place it to the side. Next, lay down your head positioned on the right of the opening so you can look back towards the drain pump on the left side of the machine. If your setup is like mine, you'll see a drain pump sitting on a silver bracket with 3 bolt heads. 2 will be visible, while 1 will be on the other side out of view. You will use a small access hole to get to the 3rd bolt head. These are the bolts that are 10mm in size. My 10mm open-ended wrench was bulky enough I ended up having to cut the access hole a little bit wider so I could fit my ratcheting wrench in for quick removal. This metal is very thick, so I have zero worry that it will compromise the longevity or performance of the machine by making the hole a little wider. If you don't want to take this approach, you can get a 10mm socket with extension and fish it over the top of the drain pump and remove it blindly. With the 3 bolts removed, you can now take the 2 hoses off the pump housing. There is a thinner green hose up top and a larger black hose on the bottom. Simply get a plier or some type of clamp and pinch the metal band to widen it and then slip the hose off. Now that both hoses are free, you can pull the entire drain pump out of the machine through the hole in the bottom. Next, you will want to take your Sharpie marker and write on the motor housing cover which color wires go to which of the 2 terminals. Next, remove the 3 screws holding the motor on the drain pump housing. Take a picture or video before removing them so you can note which of the 3 holes are being used and the orientation of the motor to the housing. It is at a weird angle and you'll want to make sure you put it back exactly how it was before you removed it. Next, remove the last remaining screw under the plate. You can now pull the motor off of the housing. The motor will be sitting inside of a small housing which will be reused. Just take the bad motor out of that small housing and push the new one in. It's a tight fit, but it'll work its way out with patience. With the new motor in the housing, place the motor back to the housing and tighten the 3 screws. Since there are 6 holes of the motor housing, you want to make sure you use the 3 that were used before. Refer to the picture or video you took earlier. Now you can return the black and red wires to the terminals of the new motor. Next, tighten the small screw that is found under the assembly. From here, you're going to want to place the assembly back in the area. Before doing so, tape a string to the small drain hose that sticks out the front of the machine when the drain cover is removed. Having a string will make it easier to pull the drain hose back through the now widened access hole after you've finished tightening the 3rd bolt. Now that it's tightened, I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy through. Next, tighten the 2 remaining bolts. With the 3 large silver bolts tightened, you can now put the 2 hoses back on by taking your pliers and pinching the prongs on the tightener to open it up. When open, that will allow you to push the hose back onto the nipple fully. Next, replace the screw below the washer in the other small access hole. Okay, we're on the home stretch. Replace the washer case and tighten the screws that hold it in place. Make sure to pull the small drain hose out of the bottom hole. Your drain hose should be long enough that when you bend it upwards, it fastens into the spot above the hole. From here, you twist the coin trap clockwise back in until it's snug. Go ahead and put the panel door back on and lower the machine to start running tests. Next, reconnect any water connections that were removed and plug the machine back into power. For testing, you can run a 15-minute load and look for leaks and see if the draining takes place. Listen to the water leaving the machine via the drain hose in the rear, and of course keep an eye out for the OE code appearing again. I personally would recommend running a cold and hot water load to ensure no leaking is taking place at either of the hoses before returning your laundry room back to its normal state, especially if you stack your machines like me. It would stink to put it all back together and find out there's an issue and then have to remove everything again. Okay, 3 weeks have passed and the machine is still continuing to work great. Here is a parts diagram of the drain pump itself, including the bracket that everything resides within, fastened down by the bolts and the dampeners, as well as the housing itself, and then the part you're replacing, which is the drain pump motor. Also, it's worth pointing out where the 2 hoses connect to the housing itself. Towards the top is a green hose connection, and then the larger connection towards the bottom is the black hose connection. As mentioned earlier, we've linked all the items in the video description below. Which, by the way, if you click on one of those links and buy something, shortly after I might get a small kickback at no cost to you. Also, there's a way to help small creators like myself via the super thanks button below the video. And lastly, it wouldn't be a video from the internet if I didn't ask you to hit the subscribe button. At least my pleading was at the end of the video, so you didn't have to sit through that before getting the information you came for. Regardless of what you may or may not do, I appreciate your time.